Hello, my dear friends, my fellow Armenians. Today, I would like to share my subjective opinion. Subjective opinion about the situation. What is the status of Armenians today in the world? What are the main problems? And how we are ready or could solve the problems confronting the Armenians in the world. This conversation, this discussion will be in English because the situation is the next. Majority of Armenians throughout the world speak English language. The quantity of Armenians that could speak Armenian decrease day by day. And the first language is English, the second is French. That's why my choice was English language. And today I will speak English. I try to explore together with us the main problems, detailize these problems. Without detailization, the problems confronting the Armenians, impossible solve above-mentioned problems. Besides detailization, Armenians need codification of total knowledges. This codification not exist present time. What we have, what we could have, and how we could solve problems confronting Armenian nation. About this situation, about these calls, not necessary to speak, to read, necessary to analyze and to find decisions. It's very important. Armenian nation live practically in every country of the world. And because any nation that live outside the motherland state, and we know that Armenia is very small, such nation divided into different parts, divided culturally, and it's very important, divided from a linguistic point of view. It's also very important. And any part of Armenian nation outside the Armenia is under the threat of total assimilation. What main Armenian cultural diaspora we have throughout the world? Latin America, where approximately from 300,000 to 500,000 Armenians live. It's a great quantity when we speak about Latin America Armenians. Majority of them are assimilated during the last 50 years. A lot of them were assimilated in 19th century because majority of newcomers to Latin America that came to Latin America in 19th century came not from Armenia. They were representative of Hungarian, Polish, Balkan countries and Italian Armenian diaspora. Practically, they came to Latin America with some semi-assimilated status. because representative of this strata lived in above-mentioned countries for 100 and more years. After this 19th century emigration, started emigration from Iran and Ottoman Empire, kind of genocide emigration. This immigration to Latin America started 1875 approximately, till 1936, from the territory of present-day modern Turkey and Iran. The next wave of immigration to Latin America was from Middle East region, from Levant. What does it mean, Levant? It's Israel, Jordan, Lebanon, and Syria. Mainly these four countries. Also, if we speak about enlarged big Levant, it's also Egypt, and other countries of Arabian Peninsula and Gulf countries. It was the third wave of immigration to Latin America. And the last emigration to Latin America came from post-Soviet territories, from Armenia, Georgia, Azerbaijan, and other former republics of Soviet Union. We speak about four waves. The number, basing international research estimations of Armenians in Latin America, from north border of Mexico with United States to Chile, is approximately from 300,000 to 500,000 people. It's very difficult to count, because could we consider assimilated Armenian families from mountain Lebanon Armenians, or we must consider them Arabians? Could we consider Hungarian-speaking Armenians from Transylvania Armenians, or we consider them Hungarians from Transylvania? That's why the number is from 300,000 to 500,000. How to survive for Armenians remaining the Armenian in Latin America? For surviving, it's necessary to create a network. It's very important. Network for Armenians in Latin America. When we speak about Latin America, the same we could speak about any other region. Shortly about Latin America I explained, but also speaking about Latin America, I touch the global Armenian problems and issues. The network is not exist because Armenians divided from a religious point of view, from political point of view, from linguistic point of view, and from point of view from what country they came. It's also very important, the country of origin. The same situation in North America, where in USA and Canada we have more than 2 million Armenians. Really, the quantity of Armenians is too much than 2.5 million. But a huge part of this Armenian population were assimilated also in 19th century and last 50 years. Practically the same waves that I spoke considering Latin America. The maximum amount of the person which we could analyze their traces with Armenian nation in both America is 3 million. If we speak only about ethnic Armenians and about the person which ancestors were Armenians. It's about 3 million. If we touch nations close to Armenians by their origin, this quantity could be and 10 million and 50 and 20. But it has a story. During this conversation, I will not speak about it. Europe. In Europe, we have Armenian societies with very long history. Now we have a remnants of these societies in Poland, in Hungary, in Romania, in Greece, in other countries of Balkan Peninsula, also in Italy and Malta. If we speak about noble families of Armenian descent, and other regions of Europe. The total quantity of Armenians in Europe is very huge. Is more than 1 million people live now in European Union and other countries of Europe, except former Soviet republics that had Armenian and have Armenian roots. Ukraine, Belarus, Moldova, we have, before we had, is too right to tell, before the war launched by Russia against Ukraine, we have approximately 500,000 Armenian population in these three post-Soviet republics. Approximately, we speak now about Moldova, Belarus, and Ukraine. It's a huge quantity, and now this quantity is decreased because a lot of people in Ukraine became refugees, and a huge quantity of Armenians left Ukraine for USA and European Union and Australia and Canada. Same as other Ukrainian population, citizens of Ukraine. Most huge Armenian society live in Russia. It's divided into different stratas. Some of these stratas is practically totally assimilated as Cherkesogai Armenians of Krasnodar, some semi-assimilated as Nakhichevan Armenians of Rostov district of Russia, and Amshen Armenians of Russia, Astrakhan Armenians that practically assimilated, and other small Armenian groups, and newcomers in Russia, Armenians that came during the last 30 years. The total quantity of people of Armenian descent in Russian Federation is 3 million. Also, we must understand that Russia tried to decrease this number and show only 930,000. Decreasing and decreasing the real data. It's normal style for Russia to act such way. It's kind of Russians' offensive operation against national minorities and especially against Armenians. Asia. We speak predominantly about Central Asia, former 5 Soviet republics. Now that region lived approximately 100,000 Armenians. South Asia. Pakistan, India, Nepal, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, Maldives. We have not more than 1,000 Armenians there. It's Indian Armenians of 500, approximately 150 Armenians total in Nepal, Bhutan, Sri Lanka and Maldives, and 350 crypto Armenians in Pakistan that are afraid to tell that they're Armenians. It's very small quantity. Totally is 1,000 Armenians in South Asia. What about Africa? In Africa, we have maximum 15,000 Armenians. Predominantly, they lived in Egypt, in Ethiopia, Zimbabwe, Zambia, and small quantity in South Africa, in Libya, in Morocco, Algeria and other countries. Maximum data is 15,000. Total with South Asia is 16. What about East Asia? In East Asia we have practically assimilated Armenian society. In China we have very small quantity of people, mixed population with local ethnic groups in Burma, in Malaysia, in Indonesia, in Philippines, in Singapore. Total quantity not more than 1,000 also. It's very small, practically dying societies. What about Australia? The quantity of Armenian in Australia is increased year by year and practically is more than 150,000. Also it's different stratas. Also it's a problem how to count. And Middle East, the head of Armenians, the motherland of Armenians. What is remain in Middle East? Gulf countries approximately 50,000, considering Saudi Arabia, Levant, Lebanon, Syria, Jordan and Israel. There we have totally not more than 150,000 Armenians, if speak about official Armenians. Yeah? We not speak about a lot of ethnic groups of Armenian descent, or about Armenians that in assimilation with other nations on this territory. And Iran is 50,000. Enough small communities if compared with the period of 50 years ago, when Armenian societies were in quantity 4 times bigger than now. Turkey, or Turkey, how the new way they try to call this country. This country, that 60% of the territory of this country, it's Armenia, it's historical Armenia. It's big Armenia, Metzhike, it's small Armenia, Pokerhike, and it's Kilikia and Armenian Mijagetk. Yes, it's Mesopotamian Armenia. 4 parts. It's approximately 60% of the total territory of present modern-day Turkey. Official Armenians in Turkey, it's only 55-60,000. Crypto Armenians that openly tell that they're Armenians, there are 100,000. Also in Turkey lived Homshetsma, Hamshen Armenians. They are divided into 2 parts. Every part is approximately 150,000. One part is Armenian speaking, other part I speak about Hopa, Homshetsma, Hopa Hemshils, and what part is Turkish speaking, Bash Hemshils, Bash Homshetsma, that not speak Armenian, but they in their Turkish dialect, they used hundreds Armenian words. Also, we have Arabized, Kurdified, Turkified Armenians in Western Armenia, in Kilikia, and in Small Armenia. Small Armenia is the center of the modern Turkey. These Armenians we could count from 2 millions to 7 millions. And nobody knows the total quantity of these Armenians. Practically it's impossible to know this quantity, because this information is secured by the whole national security services of Turkey and by the Turkish state. This is a reality. In Georgia, now we have 120,000 official Armenians and 500,000 people that change their ethnicity from Armenian into Georgian. under the pressure of Georgian government. In Armenia, we have 2,600,000 Armenians, present time. This is a total situation, kind of review of the quantity of Armenian diasporas. We consider Armenians the persons that consider themselves Armenians. It's very important to understand. Such people we have not more than 12, maximum 13 million in the world. From 12 to 13 millions. Also, we have in Syria, in Turkey predominantly, and other countries in small quantities, more than 7 million Islamized Armenians. Islamized Armenians of different type, and Christian and non-Muslim Armenians, together it's 20 million Armenians. It's not a small nation. Also, we have approximately 50 million different ethnic groups with totally or half Armenian descent, such as Druze, Pomaks, and etc. It's a reality that I know for majority Armenian scientists, but it's very simple, verified information. So openly everybody could find this information in internet. And I devoted a lot of speeches describing, telling you about above mentioned groups. What to do in present situation, how to fight against assimilation, how to resist this process. Only creating professional networks with the leaders, the same as made our ancestors 100 years ago, of two types, միաբանություն and անկրություն. For difference, I will explain when I publish information in my social platforms. YouTube channel, Tigran Avakian Live, that I ask you to subscribe this channel, it's very important. LinkedIn page, Telegram channel, my Twitter, and Patreon encyclopedia, that also information about this Armenian encyclopedia is in my YouTube channel. On the last page of my YouTube channel, you could find all links that I mentioned. It's very important. Traditional Armenian organization and traditional Armenian churches not effective in solving global Armenian issues. Armenians has no any whole Armenian organization. One Armenian organization responsible for Armenian nation that could take floor and speak about Armenian nation, that could resist and new threats that face Armenian nation. My dear friends, I ask you to subscribe Armenian Encyclopedia in Patreon. You could find all this information in my YouTube channel, Tigran Avakian Live. In profile of TikTok, also you could find this information. I ask you to subscribe my Telegram channel, my Twitter. It's very important. But not Facebook. It's no sense. Because my publications is Facebook practically closed from the part of Facebook. It's no sense to do any activity in Facebook, and I know why. It's one preliminary speech devoted to everybody that preoccupied the future of Armenian nation. That's why I speak. That's why I spend my time, my life, because without public struggle for Armenian nation, our nation will disappear, and will disappear very soon. I call everybody who feel him Armenian, join our Armenian network. It's very important. Not join for reading news about Armenians, not join for reading story about Armenian past. Join for communication, for cooperation, for success and support. My name is Tigran Avakian. I am former member of the government of Ukraine. I have approximately 20 years experience devoted Armenian issue, and I promise you to do all the best for Armenian nation. But alone I could not do it. I need your support and your assistance. It's very important. Please join and participate and write your comments. I will download this video on my YouTube channel and also publish it. Then I will spread this video in LinkedIn, in Telegram, in Twitter. Thank you very much. I hope that Armenians have a chance not only to survive, but to create strong, effective, pragmatic state. It's no time for profanation and imitation. It's no time to listen words make coheting and nothing do. It's no time to tell canards who eat fondue. It's a time to do something real, basing verified metrics of progress. If we will not participate in the life of Armenia, Armenia will die. It's very important to understand. If this is our choice, I have no anything to do, but I hope that Armenian youth will unite, join and unite. Only together we could be strong and effective. Thank you very much, my dear friends, my fellow Armenians.